Try to guess what you get when you put someone through 15 years of corporate life, 4 different companies, and more than 1,000 of one-on-one meetings. That's right, emotional damage. You get emotional damage. No, just kidding. You get someone who can share a thing or two on how to make your one-on-one meetings better. If you are a manager who is looking to get better at leading one-on-one meetings with your own team, or you are a development team member who is looking to become better at having those meetings with your managers, this video is for you. During my career as a manager, I really enjoyed having one-on-one meetings. I even said a number of times that one-on-one meetings are kind of a secret weapon of mine. And it's not by an accident. I think that one-on-ones, if done right, really helps to align the humans behind the tech, really helps to build trust and authority and rapport, and they also accelerate growth for the individual, for team, and for the business. While everyone is speaking about how to become better at leading one-on-one meetings, there are very few resources that speaks how to be better as a participant in one-on-one meeting with your own manager. That's also not a surprise. Even in the last year alone, I run dozens of trainings and workshops for the corporate clients where one-on-one meetings are the essential part of the leadership training program. And as one of my clients greatly put, the insights Thomas shared can be applied directly to everyday team management and to building stronger relationships with employees. A lot of corporate clients invest big money to upskill their managers of leading the one-on-one meetings. So I decided to put things in a little bit different perspective and share how to participate in one-on-one meeting, how to prepare for it, so it could bring the most value for your career and for your impact. Today, I will share the exact recommendations that I am using also working with my clients. And my clients are not stupid, they are high performers, so they don't want to have an additional method or tool that they need to spend additional few hours per week mastering. Instead, they want to have more time for themselves, their family, and also for that running PR they have been chasing for months. This method, this step-by-step guide, helps you to save time in the long run instead of wasting it. First part is before the meeting. And first step is to actually set the regular time slot that you will be following throughout the months. It could be the regular time slot for a quarter or for a half a year, but I would recommend having at least once per 2 weeks cadence, or sometimes even better, once per week. If you're working directly with your manager, it is important to be at sync all of the times. When you lock in a recurring time slot in the calendar, it's not only that you expect both of you will be at the same place and at the same time, but it also helps your brain to think about the meeting before it happens. And actually you are structuring your agenda in a way that helps to make things a bit easier. It is easier for you and it is also easier for your manager. The second thing is to set a very clear expectations of what kind of meeting there is and what are the exact structural steps you are taking in the meeting. I really liked 2 types of individual meetings. One of them is micro-focused and another one is macro-focused. And same types could be applied even in the same one-on-one meeting. Now, how it looks like. So micro meeting or micro topics are the operational, the tactical questions that you have. Perhaps you need to ask how to deploy a specific system, or you have a specific question about the client, the product, or the overall strategy of your team moving forward in the next couple of sprints. Now, macro meetings are focused more on that bigger scale. It could be related with team dynamics or communication about the strategic product development in like a half a year or even more in like 18 months. And having both of these topics in the same meeting help you to have that healthy balance between being focused on what is happening right now, but also think about what should happen in the future. The third thing is to keep a central document, or in other words, decide what is the single source of truth. So every meeting notes, every decision, every action item will fall into that single document. It should be shareable, it should be easy to access, and it should be easy to maintain. Don't go overthinking about the complicated structure or having a lot of lists throughout that. Just be very specific and very clear of what you need related with the expectations that you have for this meeting. Now, artificial intelligence for sure can help you do that, because now AI helps you to actually optimize the insights and optimize the outputs in a way that it's easy to digest and it's easy to share. So please use that in your favor as well. Pro tip for the big topics: help the person to prepare. So send them a pre-read list that would contain all the necessary information, the summary of the topics, and even the questions that you will be asking during the meeting. It will help the other person to prepare, and also, if that other person is your manager, as we're speaking about, shows your commitment, your smart moves, and your personal effectiveness as a professional. Now, the second part, the meeting itself. I know that the majority of job is actually being done when you are preparing for the meeting. You are thinking about the structure, you are analyzing the questions, and you are making the right summaries. But during the meeting, I would recommend you use a structure. I know that structure going just question by question may seem good from the first glance, but then you fall into trap of just status updates, don't actually consciously designing the impact you would like to make. Because these meetings are not only to share the inputs, to share the insights, or to get answers for the questions, but these meetings with your manager are especially important when you are thinking about your career growth and bigger paychecks. Using the SMART structure will help you go there faster. We will use a structure that is called flower structure. And to visualize it, imagine a flower. This is a beautiful Lego flower, by the way. We did that with my 4-year-old daughter for my wife. And I think even though that it doesn't have all of the aspects that I will be speaking, it's a really nice touch. Now, this method is called rose, thorn, and bud. So the rose is actually a win you would like to share during the meeting. For example, during the last week, we actually decreased the number of our support tickets by 40%, and that led us to saving some time, and our support engineers are now able to refactor some code a little bit there and there instead of just answering the ticket. You can also share a win in your team that you have noticed and that has at least a direct or indirect impact of your own actions. So you can see that you shared a great feedback with your colleague, or you can see that you improved your communication or your delegation abilities to your peer. So that also helps you to present your wins in the right manner and in the right light. I would recommend speaking about the wins that you actually can influence. If you are just speaking about how great your team is, that's awesome, but also try to focus on your own actions of your own wins throughout the week or throughout a couple of weeks and show them to the managers. Because usually it's not the problem that you are not good at your job. Usually it's the problem that nobody sees that. Be sure to actually showcase your win. And it could be a small win, but it put a right seed in your manager's head that you are the person who is winning. Now, the second thing is thorn. So that spiky thorn is a challenge. So what kind of challenge you are currently facing, and perhaps you also need support from your manager. But now there's also a pro tip. When you present a challenge, be sure to present at least a couple of ideas or suggestions how you would solve that challenge. For example, engineering team is waiting a feedback from product team, and that causes sprint delays. So instead of waiting for a whole bunch of features dropped, what if we can start experimenting and start testing a small batch of features before the huge release, so it will help us to iterate much faster. When you are presenting a challenge, you are showing that you are aware of what is happening in the team. When you show the suggestion and the potential solution to the problem, it also shows that you are proactive, you're willing to listen, but also you're willing to put that extra mile. Because usually in the teams, your manager are there not by a surprise. They are for a reason, because they are good at solving problems and they like to solve problems. But if you can put some problems for their plate away, that would be a huge bonus for you, and you will be seen as a trusted partner and not only as their direct report. And finally, a bud, an idea for growth. For example, you see that in upcoming few months, a few junior colleagues will join your team, so you are thinking to put a wiki of onboarding in your motion to ensure that their onboarding would be as smooth as possible, and you will save some time not only onboarding those 2 junior members, but also all of the people that will be joining a little bit later. Sharing a win that shows your commitment and shows your positive progress, also sharing a challenge with a couple of suggestions and options how to solve it, and also sharing an idea of how to improve things even further will put you in the right spot because, as I mentioned, it is very important to be seen as a trusted partner. Bonus point, if you have a feedback from your manager from previous one-on-ones, then you can also include that feedback in your conversation and showcase where you listen to the feedback and act on it. Because the main reason for the feedback is the behavioral change. So if you can show that you actually changed your own behavior in some way because of the manager's feedback, that shows that you are willing to learn, you are willing to grow, and you are really good recipient of the feedback. So the meeting just finished, even though it could be 15 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour, that now, once the meeting is finished, upcoming 10 minutes are crucial ones. Make sure you are reviewing the meeting, reviewing the notes and action items and decisions taken. That will help you to actually not miss anything important and also prepare for the next meeting. Now, with all of the action items and all of the decisions, make sure that you put the right time in your calendar straight away so you could work on it. For any unfinished tasks or unfinished questions, you can include them in the follow-up email, or you can include those questions into upcoming one-on-one agenda. If your manager forgets something, just send them a polite reminder that you are working on the questions you discussed, let's say yesterday, and you are waiting for their input, so your growth and your progress would be even faster and you are able to finish everything up until the deadline you decided. This checklist may seem very simple, but it is crucial not to miss any items in the preparation, in the meeting itself, and in the follow-ups, because you are spending a lot of time in the meetings, and those one-on-ones could help you to actually build the trust, align the humans behind tech, and help you to grow, your manager to grow and achieve their goals, and also accelerate the growth for the team. I was a manager who was managing managers, and I know that every team lead wet dream is to have a person they can actually trust. Being that trusted partner where your manager can freely share the ideas, they can share the challenges, they can discuss with you the potential solutions. They know that they are safe enough to openly share the feedback, and that creates miracles when we're speaking about the teamwork and also about your career trajectory. Now you can become a proactive, trusted, and also effective manager that your manager trusts. In the future, I will share about how to lead one-on-one meetings when you are actually a manager and leading the meeting with your direct report, but these questions will put you on the right track. Now, of course, one-on-one meetings are just a small piece of a giant leadership puzzle. If you want more custom help with your leadership challenges, please find more information below about the mentorship that I currently run. My final advice is very simple. Test, experiment, and see what actually works in your situation, in your team, and with your ways of working. However, I would say that one-on-ones are the crucial part of leading a team, and also one-on-ones with your manager is a crucial part of having your career accelerated to a bigger paycheck, to more impact, and more interesting challenges.